Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do the look that I did for my winged liner look that I just posted, because I only did the wing liner and I absolutely love the way my makeup looked that day. So I did a poll on Instagram and I got a whopping yes. So I'm gonna make this video more of a chit chat, get ready, and kind of walk you through what I do. But also I asked everybody on Instagram if they had any questions, so I answer a couple of those in here as well. So if you wanna see how I get this look right here, then let's get started. All right guys, let's get started. So I'm gonna start off with the Danessa Myricks Beauty Oil. My skin has just been dry, so this has been really great as a prep. And it's also very basic in its ingredients. I believe grapeseed is like one of the main oils in this, so definitely not bad for the skin. So for foundation today, I think I'm gonna start out with the Dior Forever Skin Glow, and the color I use is, I believe, 1 in. This foundation actually gives a fantastic amount of coverage and is very glowy. For dry skin, it doesn't show texture, so I highly recommend this foundation if you are in the market for a more higher end foundation. Something I will say, in higher end foundations, for whatever reason, they put a lot of perfume. So if you are someone who is hypersensitive to perfume, I recommend maybe avoiding this one, because it does have a little bit of a scent to it, but for me it doesn't bother me too much, so I just go for it. Also, has anyone watched Tiger King? I feel like everyone has. Oh, me and Jason were definitely blindsided by how crazy it was gonna get. I just thought it was gonna be kind of just rednecks in the middle of nowhere being stupid. But no, it was full on craziness, but like you couldn't look away. So anyway, secretly hope that this new episode that is supposed to be coming out, that Joe is released from jail. I doubt it, but a girl can dream, I guess. Not that he doesn't deserve to be in jail. Anyway. So for concealer, I'm taking the Hourglass concealer in the color Cream. I'm gonna put a fair amount on since we're doing a glam-ish look. Has anyone else just been itching to go shopping? I just want to walk in a mall. I don't even know if I'd be tempted to buy anything, but I just want to be out and about, holding a cup of coffee, walking in a mall, you know, first world problems. I have enjoyed the break though. Has anybody else kind of found themselves enjoying being kind of forced to stop for a little bit? I know I have. Ugh. Especially all of my freelancers out there, I'm sure it's odd to be told to stop, stay, because when you're in the freelance world, you tend to find yourself taking every job you can get your hands on. I know I do. So definitely makes you, this time has definitely helped me reevaluate and find the joy in making videos or doing nothing or really focusing on working out. So we are very blessed to be where we are and be able to take 2 seconds and let this be a break. So, and I totally forgot, I am using what I always use, the Morphe sponge to blend out everything. So I believe the camera's picking this up, but just the foundation, it gives this light glow. A lot of times what I'm trying to achieve is to have what looks like my skin, but a lot of times when I'm doing this higher glam, I do want more coverage. Like, I tend to have a little bit of a discoloration down here around my chin area, jawline area. So it's nice to find a foundation that has the glow of something that's lighter coverage, but gives you a little something, something. So, highly recommend Dior Glow foundation if you can get your hands on it. I believe they have it at Sephora or all department stores where Dior is sold. Also, this concealer I have found tends to know if you can really tell, but, and I probably went out of focus, but right here in my eye, I always get this texture. So I'm really trying to take the sponge and soak up some of that product so it doesn't show off too much, but it'll be all right. So before I start creasing, I'm gonna do a little baking under the eyes. So I'm taking the Hourglass, and I love this sifter, it's so luxurious, but the Hourglass translucent powder, and I'm gonna take the other end, and I'm gonna begin stamping under the eye. I've been enjoying seeing some of the memes out there lately, and one of them is the coffee, they're running a marathon and the coffee has the baton and he's passing it off to the wine, and I was like, I feel that to a certain extent, just because we're stuck indoors so much that we tend to, I don't know about you, but I tend to turn to liquids instead of too many snacks. And that has been that has been the game, coffee into wine. So that's really funny to me. So I want to set all of the areas that move. So smile lines, the forehead, and right in here. This one area, like right where this dimple is, I always have makeup settle there. So I try to thin it out and stamp in some powder. All right. Also, eyebrows. I'm gonna say it again. I'm sorry. I'm letting them grow out. I'm trying to be as diligent as possible to not touch the sides, because I really want to bring in, for whatever reason, through the years, I've somehow cut away and I want them to grow back right in here. So we're gonna look nice and furry for a while. Okay. So now I'm gonna take the P. Louise base in number 2. Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. Such pretty packaging. So I'm gonna take a very tiny amount of that on my palette. I'm gonna take a fluffy brush and just buff that in. I'm gonna take the Morphe M441, pick up a little bit, and buff it out. So next I'm going to start with brows, and I'm using the Anastasia brow brush in number 12. First I'm going to kind of flick everything up and see if we got any areas we want to fill. And then I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel or brow pomade in the color taupe. I like to use the lid, as you can see, as a dispenser to kind of get the product where I need it, or how much I want on the brush. And then I start doing flicking motions to fill in the areas that I need filled in. I'm going to take the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, just give some texture. Again, this brow gel is my fave. It's the closest thing to using soap brow that you can get without having to put soap in your brows, which I love that look and love using soap, but you know, for every day, it's not necessary. So next I'm going to start contouring, and I'm going to use the cream contour from Huda Beauty, the Tantour in Fair. And I'm going to take my Sephora brush in, let's see, 49. I've had this forever, so I'm surprised there's still even writing on it. And so I'm just going to press like this. I'm going to begin stamping in this contour. I try my best to stamp this cream in because I don't want to disrupt too much of the coverage that I've already built up from the foundation. It also allows me to slowly build it up rather than just putting on a bunch of dark color and then having to blend out something that potentially could be too much. So I'm going to take this really old Laura Mercier bronzer, the Soleil Matte Veil powder. Oh, so is it a bronzer? Who knows? Anyways, it is in the bronzer color, and it has a coconutty smell to it. I believe this was the summer before last, I think. Anyway, found it, thought I'd use it because I have completely destroyed my last year's Hourglass palette. That bronzer no longer exists, so now that we're in quarantine, we can't. I mean, I guess I could buy on Sephora.com, but I don't want to condone people still working and being whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Anyway, long story short, I'm using an older bronzer. Use the makeup you have if you can, instead of buying new. Do the same thing with a, let's see, Morphe E27 brush. Just go along just the tiniest bit. I'm going to take it into the socket and onto the eye. That same bronzer. Alright. So now I'm going to go in with blush, and I cannot get over how beautiful these blushes are, even though I've destroyed this palette. The Hourglass holiday palette from last year, I absolutely love these blushes. So I tend to just kind of go back and forth, but I'm probably going to use more of the peach today because we're doing more of that neutral, bronzy, glowy, whatever I'm going to call this look. We'll see. You probably already know because you looked at the thumbnail. I posted to see if on Instagram if anybody had any questions, since we were doing a chit chat. Should have probably done that a little earlier, but oh well. And this is a brush from Tarte, but I think a lot of brands make this. They don't really have a name on it or anything. It came with their blush set back in the day, and I absolutely love the shape for blush because you can kind of flick it around. And I really like taking my blush and getting it in with that bronzer so that it kind of looks like one cohesive thing and not like blush, bronzer. So feel free to do that. And I take it up into the temples as well. Do a little bit across the nose. Just think about like when you get embarrassed where you blush. All right, so let's bake under that contour next. Taking the same powder, the Hourglass powder, with that same sponge. I'm going to begin to sweep underneath this. And if you're having a hard time finding a powder that doesn't just extrally dry you out, I recommend this powder. Being more finely milled, you won't get as nearly dried out as the Laura Mercier one or even Ben Nye or something like that. So before you give up on baking, try the Hourglass powder. I don't think you will regret it. It's such a dreary day today. It rained cats and dogs last night in LA, which is always a wild thing to experience. All right, so the rock star to this look is the Artist and Muse palette from KKW X Mario. I cannot explain it, but these mattes right in here are so perfect and neutral without being too warm or too cool. They're just right. And so, yeah, I've fallen in love with these. So I'm gonna take this guy right here, So Many Paparazzi, and I'm gonna begin buffing that into the crease and up. And the shape that I'm going for, which you'll see as I do this, is I'm gonna take it across, lift up a little bit, and go into the socket. So what it's gonna do is give me a bigger opening to the eye, which I may have to carve out the crease a little bit, which I didn't do last time, but I may want to just to really give myself a bigger crease for today, or a bigger eyelid. Just gonna lay down a good base for that on both eyes. So next I'm gonna go into Don't Move. There we go. And I'm gonna darken that outer corner. And then go straight up. So instead of closing it, I'm gonna go up with it. Okay. I like that shape. So next I'm going to take the I'm Inspired color. And I'm just going to take this to deepen up even more. And I'm going to, as you get darker, obviously the closer to the lid you keep it. I'm going to do the same thing where I deepen it in that outer V. And then I'm going to follow that shape again. This time I'm really keeping it concentrated. So I'm going to do the other eye and I'll be right back. Next I'm going to take the P. Louise base again and I'm just going to ever so slightly cut that crease. The tiniest bit just so I can clean up that bottom area and so that it can be as bright as it can be for the shimmer shade. Taking that same M224 brush. Slightly. So now that I've gotten the shape that I want, I say that and then keep playing. I'm gonna go back in with that deeper color. So the next thing I'm gonna take is a beauty campaign, which is this shiny color right here, and oh, it's beautiful. So I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna begin pressing it into the eyelid. See that? Just the tiniest bit. That's all you need. I swear they killed this eyeshadow palette. I'm taking a detail brush. I'm pretty sure this is a lip brush. Oh no, shader lid, E56 by Sigma. Awesome. I just assumed it was a whip brush. And just going back and forth a little bit, just so it's not so harsh, but you also get that intense crease. Yes, yes, yes. I swear these eyeshadows just blend out themselves. All right, so I'm gonna hop off into the other eye and I'll see you in a second. I did get some questions in and let's see. I got from Brittany Michaela saying, how are you today? I am good. Happy to be playing with makeup. Hoping that you and everyone else is doing well too. And you know, finding things to do and keep yourself occupied, not watching too much news, but being aware. It's getting a little crazy out there, so just, you know, keep doing things that make you happy. And that's what I'm doing, obviously, what I'm doing right now. Oh man, so let's see, I think I got another question. What is the first thing you want to do when everything is back to normal? Secretly, I want to hit up a Sephora because I have got my eyes on so many things that I just want to touch and feel and see. But also just like, again, like I said, just walk around a mall and just be around people. Any small makeup brands that are underrated? Small makeup brands. I think, I don't know, it's funny because the ones like 6 months ago that were small are now coming into Sephora. But ones that I've seen that are now kind of exploding is Kosas, however you say that. They're now in Sephora and are doing really well. Like a lot of big makeup artists are starting to use that brand and show them off. And again, like I said, they're in Sephora, so that's really cool. Melt is another makeup brand that, I mean, a lot of people know and they have come out with some really great things, but they're smaller. Jouer, Melt now has a full gondola at Sephora, and so does Jouer now has a end cap. I don't know if they've now bumped up to having a full gondola. But they're a really great brand. Who else? If you could fly, where would you go? Hawaii, 100%. Went last year, I would go again in a heartbeat. Honestly, when flights, before the crisis got like scary, the flights got so cheap that I was like, I mean, we could plan a trip if we wanted to. And then it was like, no. That is probably the silliest thing you could ever do. So yeah, Hawaii, I would go to Honolulu again in a heartbeat. Oh, that was such a fun trip. If anybody ever gets the chance to go, just do it. Because it is absolutely breathtaking. All right, so I'll grab a couple more questions in a little bit, but I need to finish this eye. All right, so I have both top lids done, and let's do the lower lash line. What I want to do is take my go-to cream liner, if I can find it. Oh, right here. The Stila Nude Liner. Hands down, if you don't have it and you want to do a nude waterline, you must get it. So the way I like to do this is to kind of just push down, especially once your makeup has already been put down. Just push on the eye and it will reveal the waterline. No need to tug if you don't have to, right? I'm losing my mind. What are we doing? We're doing the bottom lash line. I'm gonna start out, I'm gonna do the opposite order, but the same colors. I'm gonna do the color Inspired Me, and I'm gonna wiggle that around. This is a Royal and Nickel, I think is how it's called. The BX 100, I believe is the name of it. So I'm gonna take the Be Inspired color and begin buffing that along the lash line. So next I'm gonna take a Morphe G18 and I'm gonna pick up the next color, the next lightest color, the Don't Move color. And I'm gonna begin really buffing out the edges of that. Because you want this look to really be blown out and you don't really see or know where it ends. So I'm going to take the Morphe M441 and do just another sweep using that So Many Paparazzi shade. I swear there's nothing better than a nice just brown, shiny lid, neutral eye. Okay, so before I go to the next step, I wanted to answer another question, and Johanna asks, what is my current coffee order? And Johanna is my sister, and we're always going back and forth on what do you order next? What do you order now? Because seasonally we tend to change it, or they'll add at Starbucks, they'll add a new coffee, and one of us will try it, and we're like, oh my gosh, you have to try it. So anyways, we definitely bond over coffee. But currently, I now get a grande iced latte with almond milk and 1 pump classic. Yeah, that is like the perfect order. Cold brew used to be like my ride or die. But then once I started getting a latte, I just like, the taste of a shot of espresso versus cold brew is just, there's nothing like it. So I highly recommend it next time you go. I also do 1 pump. I've gotten pretty intolerant to sugar. So doing 1 pump of the classic gives me something without that artificial sugary flavor. So back to the makeup. I am going to use the Black Up brown liner. Let me see if I can tell you the name of it. I guess NTK12M, is that the color? I think so. Anyways, but it's a no transfer liner. So I'm gonna tight line with this guy, and I'm gonna put it right where the lash band's gonna go, because I don't want to do a winged liner, because when I did this look last time, we've already seen it with the winged liner. So I'm gonna give you the option just to see a little bit of a diffused, buffed out liner. Let me get this mirror really close, because #blind. And I am gonna put false lashes on, so I'm really gonna make sure that I get in to that tear duct. I'm gonna take a flat brush, the Morphe E43. And I want to just buff this out a little bit so it's not so harsh. So yeah, I'm going to hop off real quick and do the other eye, and I'll be right back. Alright, both eyes have mascara on them, and now I'm going to pop on my favorite lashes from Velour, and they are in Mini Me. And they are the no-cut lashes, which makes them absolutely perfect for my tiny little eyeballs. Alright, so now I am going to dust off my bake. And my favorite part is next. I'm gonna take the, let's do MAC Fix Plus first. And I'm gonna lightly spritz that all over my face. No idea why I talked during that, because now it's in my mouth. Now, the best highlighting palette on the market right now. If you're looking for like super wet, super dewy, like Instagram highlight, this is your best friend. So this is the Jaclyn Hill palette, and my favorite color right now is Iced. So I just tap into that, and I'm using her brush. Let's see which number that is, if I can figure it out. Okay, so the J02. And I'm just gonna hit the highlights. I mean, look at that. This palette is hands down the prettiest ever. So I'm gonna take a little bit down the nose, get right on the bridge. Now you know we gotta hit the brow bone. So I'm gonna take Glam, which is the lightest in the palette. Just pop that right in there. Just at the arch of the brow. Love it. Pop it in the inner corner. And this brush is F70 from Sigma. All right, guys, so for my favorite part, other than the highlight, excuse you, is the lips. So I'm gonna start with the Huda Beauty Trendsetter Lip Liner. This guy is one of my faves, obviously. I'm gonna line the lip. Hello. And I'm gonna line the lip. Like I normally do. And then I'm gonna take a second lip liner, which this is a little bougie, but that's okay. I'm gonna take MAC Trendsetter. No, that was Huda. I'm gonna take Strip Down by MAC. And I'm just gonna go over that, lightly dusting this color. So next I'm gonna take my favorite lipstick when I'm doing my natural look like this, which is Flesh Pot by MAC. I'm gonna take it just in the center. And tap, 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 tap. Okay. So I have finally used this for the first time, which is the Jouer Skinny Dip lip gloss. This stuff is packed with shine. So I'm gonna show you one swipe. I mean, So I'm gonna take this mostly in the center and begin blending it out. Super thin, doesn't get really goopy. Oh, it's just so pretty. And it stays shiny, surprisingly enough. So good. Swear, this is my favorite look of all time. All right, guys, that is it. And I absolutely love, 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 love this look. This is probably the most me and the most confident I feel in a look is this. So anyway, if you learned something or if you just want to, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Happy raps. Yeah. I done caught a wave at a young age. Niggas getting paid doing dumb things. Make a little money and they act strange. All these girls really want one thing. I like them just like my coffee. All of these